There's this video just came out of UVA, and it's from the Multicultural Student Center. The Young Americas Foundation obtained the video. I guess a student secretly recorded it. This is of a young gal, a woman of color, who stands up there and says that this is the Multicultural Student Center, and therefore you can't have that many white people here. Now you might think multicultural means all different kind of cultures, all different kind of people who all look different. No, that's not how she's interpreting it. She's saying, more or less, we need to have a segregated student center and white people need to get lost.
Public service announcement. Excuse me. If y'all didn't know, this is the MSC, and frankly, there's just too many white people in here, and this is a space for people of color. So just be really cognizant of the space that you're taking up, because it does make some of us POCs uncomfortable when we see too many white people in here. It's only been open for 4 days, and frankly, there's the whole university for a lot of y'all to be at, and there's very few spaces for us. So keep that in mind. Thank you.
Too many white people, get those white people out of here. So if racism has a definition anymore, and the left has pretty much degraded that word down to nothing, but if racism has a definition, that is racist. That is the textbook example of racism. But you don't hear that description in the AOC boyfriend video, do you? No, in the AOC boyfriend video, it's only white people who can ever be racist, who can ever harbor bigotry. And white people can never get rid of it, and nobody else could have it. That's so silly. That's so unbalanced. It's so wrong. I think there's this idea that comes out of this toxic effeminacy that you've just got to surrender yourself entire. You've just got to give away any backbone you might have. You can never have an opinion. If you're a white person, you're bad. If you're a man, you're bad. If you're straight, you're bad. And your opinions are invalid and you can't say anything. And this is based on a theory of historical injustice and present victimhood that comes together in the left-wing ideology called intersectionality. It's just victim politics on steroids. And so you see it in AOC's boyfriend. He just says, I just talk to white people. We're just so bad. We'll never be better, but I'm trying. Please, I'm trying. You don't see AOC make a similar acknowledgement. Say, you know, I've got my problems too. I've got my flaws as well, and maybe I should look into myself and convince my fellow congresswomen or my fellow women, whoever, that we've got stuff to work on too. No, it's only in one direction. I mean, obviously, if a white student stood up at any center on any university campus and said, hey, we don't really like that there are so many non-white people here, so this is a space for white people and everyone else has to leave, that would be an international incident. You'd have the UN investigating it or something. But in this case, it only goes in one direction. I think if you want to restore a sense of justice to the country, then you can't let it get to an extreme like that. You can't, I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that there are some bad traits of men. And if that's all that toxic masculinity means, okay, that's fine, I accept that. But likewise, you've got to recognize that there is toxic effeminacy. If you're going to say that one group can harbor racial biases, then you have to acknowledge that other groups can harbor racial biases as well. But unfortunately, that's not the situation we see because of leftism, because leftism makes it so one-sided, it's so domineering, it's so ravenous, it's so desirous of consuming everything in its wake. Leftism will not be the answer to that. The irony of that UVA video is that it's at the Multicultural Student Center. The theory of multiculturalism is that you're going to bring everybody together and you're all going to sing Kumbaya. But what's the practice? The practice is actually increasing racial division, actually increasing bigotry. You see it all around. The idea of feminism is that everybody's going to be equal in Kumbaya and come together. What's the practice? Division, rancor, rage, as Ayanna Pressley is describing it. That is not the answer. We have to restore some balance, and you need to see where the threat really lies. Is the threat in toxic masculinity? When you look at those videos, do you think that we have a surplus of masculinity, or does the threat lie on the opposite end? If you enjoyed that break from the disinformation, the historical revision, and the screaming about the end of the world, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss another video.